All right, so have you ever had a situation that seemed of the utmost importance, and all the while you were missing something that was of even greater importance? Well, in our family we have the term hangry, which is a combination of angry and hungry. See, there might be a time when I feel really mad or irritated about something, which might be legitimate. It could be a legitimate irritation or frustration. But the bigger issue is that I'm actually hungry and that my body is needing sustenance. Well, this week in our Trustworthy Bible study, we're going to be looking at the nation of Israel, led by their king, Ahab, and his wife, Jezebel, and how they really missed what their greatest need was. See, Ahab was an evil king. It actually says it over and over again in the chapters that we study on his life. And he led the people in worship of idols. They built altars to Baal and continually sacrificed to false gods. And this angered the Lord, and to the point where he sent the prophet Elijah and said that there will be no rain, not even dew, in the land until God says it's time. So 3 years pass, and the nation of Israel is starving. There's not food, there's not water, and water is what they perceive to be their greatest need. God sends Elijah back, and this is a story in chapter 17 and 18 that you might be familiar with. Elijah challenges the false prophets for Baal to a situation where they both build an altar, and so the people of Israel can see which God is the one true God. Now, as you can imagine, the false prophets altar to Baal. Baal does not answer. There is no response because he is not there. Then when Elijah prays to the living God, in chapter 18, he says in verse 37, "Answer me, O Lord, answer me, so that these people will know that you, O Lord, are God, and that you are turning their hearts back again." Then the fire of the Lord fell and burned up the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, the soil, and also licked up the water in the trench. See, what the people of Israel thought they needed was water, but God actually knew that there was a much deeper need, a renewed covenant relationship with him. He was turning their hearts back towards him. Lysa in the Bible study makes reference to John chapter 4 and the Samaritan woman at the well, who, once again, thinks that water is her biggest issue. Getting a water source so that she doesn't have to keep coming back to this well. Well, her bigger need was living water from God, right? That life source, that relationship with Jesus, her Savior. I was struck this week in thinking about my own needs and how oftentimes what I perceive to be the biggest need might actually not be what God is doing in my heart and what his desire is for me. Lysa asks us to consider what spiritual provisions might God be working out in the midst of our current crisis. So I encourage you to really contemplate what God is desiring for you. We're talking about Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, and Johnny will come up to Matthew chapter 6, verse 7. He says, "And when you pray, do not keep on babbling like pagans, for they think that they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask him." Consider that. He knows what you need before you even ask. And the need that you might have may be much bigger than the need that you think you have. So I encourage you to pray as Jesus continues on in verse number 9. "This is then how you should pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven." Have a great week.